Hey y'all, today we're going to be doing our first tutorial and it's going to be on creating the infamous heart-shaped cake without the heart-shaped mold. I think this is a great way to save some space on pans and just getting creative too. So you start with your frozen cakes fresh out the freezer. You're going to take a serrated knife, bread knife, whatever you want to call it, and you're going to create a even as possible line down the middle of each side of the cake. So you're going to have like a X or like a plus sign is what you're going for. You would be going for a plus sign. And you're going to cut at each point that you created. Don't try to I see some people where they try to like free eye it almost, where they just cut. It's not going to be the same. You're not going to hit it. And I also don't recommend cutting one cake layer and then using it as a template for the other ones, because they're not shaped the same, so they're not going to be the same size. So I just would take my time and do this step on all of the layers so that they are even for that cake layer. I also think using this method for the heart cakes is also a good idea, because say if you already like offer different sizes in your circle and your round cake molds, you could offer those sizes also in the heart size without spending any extra money. Alright, this is our last one. You're just going to gently press in the serrated knife into the cake as in the middle as possible, and then turn to the other side and do it as well. You are only going to cut, I believe in the beginning I say each side, but you're only going to cut the two sides. That point that you're cutting is like the point at the bottom of the heart that you're creating. And here we're going to start placing our cake on the board. Start with a little dab of buttercream to kind of secure it down. This is a 12-inch round cake board. I think it is a 1.5-inch thick. Not 1.5, half-inch thick. When you place down your first cake layer, also try to remember to make sure that it is in the place on the board where you would like it to be. Of course, it's not going to be directly in the middle because you still have to add the two top parts. So you kind of bring it down just a little bit. Make sure it's where you want it to be before you start to like put the other cake layers on top of it. Here, when you place your top two pieces, that buttercream that you put at the top is acting as a glue. I'm gonna call it the glue. It is sticking those two pieces to the cake. In another one of these layers, you're gonna see it kind of not stick as well. All you're gonna have to do is put a little more buttercream in that spot and kind of push it and hold it in place. It will hold in place. I have a question, y'all. How much buttercream do y'all put in between each cake layer? It may seem like I don't put that much, but I think I put a pretty good amount. It's usually like enough. I'm not a big frosting person, even though I love the way my frosting tastes. I wasn't like a store-bought frosting person, so I don't put too much. But how much do y'all put in the middle of y'all cakes? In the beginning, you're going to see it's going to be like a space. You see that space in between those two layers. Don't worry about that. You're going to go in and you're going to fill those holes with buttercream when you do your when we do the crumb coating process. Make sure to put the buttercream on the bottom layer and also the side layer so that they stick
to the first layer you put down and to the sides now, because you're starting to build up. Here you're gonna see me need a little bit more buttercream, and I'm just gonna squeeze it in and press that piece into the side of the cake where you want it to stick. Don't be worried, it's not quite gonna be heart shaped, but we're getting there, girl. Here I do try to kind of like keep the frosting off of that middle piece as much as possible. It's really not a big deal, but you just don't want to waste any buttercream because you're gonna cut that piece off. So keep that in mind when you're building up. Here is, I don't know what in my brain keep telling me to flip it upside down, but it's been giving me the dime shape heart. I love it, but it's a little funny looking to me, but I like it still. And here we are, guys. We are ready for the next step. It's not going to be perfect, but she is pretty. In this step, this is where you can determine how you want your heart to look. Do you want like the chunky jumbo heart? You're going to go more outwards. Or do you want kind of like a slim pointy heart? You're gonna bring your knife in a little and kind of cut off. I also like to do this step before I start applying the crumb coat, because as you can see, all of the little crumbs, you don't want that to get kind of mixed up into the frosting. So do that part before you start putting on your crumb coat. And I like the chunky jumbo thick heart. I don't know how to explain it, but yep, there she go. And from here, you're just gonna start applying your crumb coat. Think of the crumb coat as like the underwear of the cake. No one's gonna see it, but it does keep everything protected and locked in. Once you put your buttercream on, you're gonna put the cake in the refrigerator for about 15-20 minutes. Really depends, up to you. Just to kind of let that buttercream get solid, and then you can start decorating. And here she is once we put some decoration on her. If you'd like to see the full video of how I decorated this cake, it is already uploaded on my YouTube. Thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know how much you love it. And if you are in the New Orleans area, book your girl for your birthday or any event you have. Thank you.